Good. How you doing, buddy?
I've been better.
Oh, what happened?
I have a pinched sciatic nerve. It's been sending sharp pain to my fucking kneecap for 2 days. I haven't had a good night's sleep in 2 days, and I'm very fucking tired and agitated.
I can. Believe it or not, I could actually fix that for you.
What are you doing sitting there? Please come over. I will fucking pay you. I will suck your dick.
Oh my
I will
God,
give you
Bob.
money.
Is it
and
recording?
suck your-
Is it recording?
Paul,
Yeah, I'm recording.
You better be recording, Paul.
I'm recording.
Okay.
Sweet.
Hey, Bob, you could save internet speed by just cutting out right now and going over to his house and doing it at his place.
I mean, I really liked Hitler's mustache, but good to be
Oh,
back.
wow.
Good to be back, dude. This fucking new house is huge, and Doug saw the room. It's like a big echo chamber. Yeah, I wanna get Doug's power bill is what I want.
Well, they have his town has
I
their own
wanna-
power
I-
company. That's why it's so cheap.
I mean, hydroelectric dam. We live on a fucking river. Why don't we have a hydroelectric dam?
Can I tell you one thing I haven't had to buy for myself since living here is bottled water. I drink water off tap now. It's awesome.
You won't do that down here. It tastes like chlorine and ass.
I remember taking showers when they'd put those tabs in the Caloosahatchee and it would smell
Mhm.
awful for a week.
Yep.
Does it smell like chloroform? Oh well,
It smells
shit.
a little like cum, bro.
Okay, so this
So,
part, this part, stop. Don't say any gold because I put the graphic up in OBS, so I wouldn't have to do that in editing. And right now, Doug is split between Paul and Doug, and it says John for me. So half a Doug is in Paul, half a Doug is in Doug. I'm John. Bob, you're good.
By the way, like I told you, my friend in Seattle is in love with our show.
Tell Mr. Vetter I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll let him know. I don't think Justin Long knows Ed personally, but
Wait, the Justin Long from Jeepers Creepers Justin Long? Randy St. Randy Justin Long?
correct, that Justin Long.
You're not friends with that Justin Long.
No, I've known this Justin Long since the 3rd grade.
Oh, man, that was awesome if you did.
Just because you said Eddie Vedder, Pearl Jam is Janie's Got a Gun, right?
Motherfucker.
No. What's,
Okay.
No, that's Aerosmith. What's Pearl Jam's?
Yeah, this podcast is over. I'm done with this. I can't handle this immature behavior.
What's the song about a father and a daughter that Pearl Jam does? I know they have a father-daughter.
Daughter?
Daughter.
Daughter.
In the music video, you know how they do like that background dramatic reenactment?
Oh, you're talking about
He's talking about the Germany video.
you're talking about sex type thing.
Am I talking about what?
Wait, what?
Okay. Anyway, in the Pearl Jam,
No,
The
don't
sex
no,
type thing.
You
That's
mean
the
you
part
mean
that's
you
wrong,
mean
right?
Vaseline?
in the Pearl Jam video, daughter, the guy who plays
Yeah, that's Vaseline. There you go.
in the Pearl Jam.
Where he's all like, and then she tells me I'm a creep. That's my favorite Pearl Jam song.
Oh, I thought you were talking about that song that she gave me back.
I'm half the man I used to be. My name is Eddie Vedder, and I'm half. Yeah, something like that.
No.
Love it.
But they didn't
Love it.
make a video for Daughter. But they did make a video for Jeremy.
Oh,
They just
Bruce
released
Well.
last year the uncensored video after 25 years.
Really?
Where
It's on YouTube?
Yeah, they made him take out the scene where he literally puts the gun in his mouth and pulls the trigger.
Well, then what's
'cause-
the point of watching it, then?
Right, because that's what the song was written about. Was an article about some kid in some fucking high school
Whose
who
name was
stood in front of
Jeremy
his class, pulled
and
out
shot
a
himself in the fucking mouth.
pistol, and shot himself in front of his class.
And
And Eddie
he
Vedder read the fucking thing in a newspaper.
article and
where
wrote
it
the
was
song
about.
Jeremy.
Jeremy, Gerem, Jeremy?
Jeremy. Like Jeremy, you know that band Pat Smear was in before he was in Nirvana.
Germany.
I
Yes.
thought Pat Smear originated in Foo Fighters.
Oh yeah, that he was literally born in a test tube in Dave Grohl's lab.
Can I tell you one of the weirdest, one of my bigotry stories?
Sure.
So, ever since, sure, here we go. Yeah, there's
Hey,
people
John,
fucking love this.
Perfect timing, man. Perfect timing.
I'll admit, full on. I'm
What the
borderline racist bigot. It's okay. So, anyways, growing up, I always thought that Pat
You
Smear
growing up,
kind
you
of.
thought you were Italian?
You know what? I'm
No, I
openly
thought
the same
Pat.
as you.
I thought Pat Smear was kind of lip-wristed, as they used to say. You know, kind of like
Or is what
played
we
for the
call
other
him.
team. Like he,
So he was
as-
a Mets
as
fan.
we call them. Yeah.
you know, like he was from San Francisco. So I'm watching that Foo Fighters documentary back and forth, and there's a scene towards the end where they all show up with their wives and kids, and Pat Smear shows up with his wife and kid, and I'm sitting there, and I literally dropped the beer that I was drinking, and I went, "What the fuck is going on right now? There's no way. There's no way that dude does not just love the cock." And I love Pat Smear. And I'm not
Okay.
talking shit. But when I saw him on film with a wife and kid, I went, nah, this is some Hollywood magic shit. And this isn't true. That guy is gayer than 9 guys blowing 10 guys. With an extra dick just fucking sitting there watching.
Okay, so
Anyways.
have you ever been to a show and seen artists pull a
That's
straight
right.
up seen a straight up 80s move where the band members point down to the girls and then security goes and gets them? I've only had that experience at one show out of 1,000 shows.
No.
I've seen it happen live.
Why would I be at a show where that was even a possibility? What the fuck kind of concerts are you going to?
You'll never
But
guess
you
what
go-
art.
What-
You'll never guess what
Is there a
artist it
time
was.
you saw Journey back in 1982, Grandpa? Tell us more.
You want to know who it was?
Not really.
Ben Harper and Relentless 7.
I'm done with this conversation.
Not Ben, but the rest of his band. The whole band was just
Ben Harper wasn't there. The whole band wanted to fucking run a train on some girl in the audience, and they were like, "Yeah, get that bitch up here, fucking fuck yeah, party, woo!"
Dude, I shit you not. The rest of the band picked up girls, left. Ben played an hour and a half long encore by himself. And I was like, huh. You know,
Oh my god, what a nice guy. I bet he's a great cuddler.
yeah.
Always
Yeah, I
have
was
to
like, did I
steal
just
my
see
kiss
some
from
poison
you,
type
girl.
shit?
One time I was hanging out with Prince, and we just stopped on the street corner and picked up a 13-year-old Filipino boy. And Prince just started fucking him right there in the back of the limo. It was the weirdest thing I've ever experienced.
But
Have you guys ever been in that situation before?
with Prince,
I'll
no.
answer
But
that
with
question
Corey
with
Feldman,
Shuffle,
yes.
Shuffle.
John,
With Corey Feldman, yes.
my answer is similar but different.
Jesus fucking Christ, Paul was a joke. Well, I don't even want to know where you're going with this. All right, real talk with
I
Paul.
really
In
do.
3, 2,
I want to
1.
know.
Go.
Well, pretty much same story, just Prince wasn't there.
So who was there?
Oh, Filipino boys are excellent lovers. I mean, you really get your dollars worth.
Hey,
The-
it's
Have
Bob.
nothing.
That's
so,
the currency of
I mean,
choice.
50 cents. 50 cents gets you a lot. Great.
So you're literally comparing your lovemaking skills to the cost effectiveness of a Nike factory.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
in fairness, that's
Can I
their
be
day
honest
job.
with you? I actually imagine his lovemaking skills to be of that in my head.
You don't picture him with a Viking helmet on like you picture me.
No, man, one of those like those shoe companies from the '80s that lasted a year before going under. They had like a really great ad campaign with Tim Kazurinsky at the height of the Police Academy movies, and then it just tanked after a year. Those kind of shoes, not Nike.
So like
That
kangaroos.
reference was fucking funny. Did you write that? Did you write that, Doug? That fucking reference was great.
Just came off the top of my head, man.
Yeah, sure it did.
I'm just gonna
Let
say
me
now.
see your computer. Show me all your post-it notes. Like, I'm gonna mention this obscure actor from Police Academy 10 minutes in. Then I'm gonna talk about this in 20 minutes, and
So let's talk about
it all lined up.
Let's talk about the QAnon shaman.
Huh?
Oh God, do we have to?
What is that? I don't even know what it is.
The buffalo-headed guy
Paul
who
does.
stormed the Capitol.
The QAnon shaman? The goddamn.
yeah.
Why'd
the
you
actor-
fucking say it like that, Bob?
Yes.
Why'd you say it like, oh yeah, Paul's talked to the guy before?
Well, because you're up on current events, unlike these two schmoes.
Oh, sure. What do you want to
I
talk
just
about?
don't give a fuck about it, man. I'm in. So.
I'm not going to get big on the political side of it, but I watched an interview with a lady today who was being arrested by the FBI, and she said, I don't feel we committed a crime because the president asked us to come to D.C., and we did what the president asked.
Yeah, that's a big fucking problem about this whole situation.
Yeah.
Let me tell you about
How's that going to
what
hold
it's
up
like.
in court?
Yeah, getting into punk rock when I was about 14, 15 years old, growing up in the punk rock scene, playing in punk rock bands, Ouija, What's Up, Throwback. I dreamed for a day where I would see fucking American citizens storm the fucking Capitol building and be like, hey, motherfuckers, you work for us. You represent us. Do your fucking jobs. What happened the other week? That's not what happened at all. What happened was gross, and that's some fucking dictatorship right there. What happened? That's all that I'm going to say on it. Just absolutely disgusting.
But
disgusting.
To add to that point, we were thinking about the bands that we liked. The period that we all became friends, like during the Bush era. All those bands at one point during the second term of Bush, like really started railing against it and getting us going and getting us into, I think, getting our generation into politics. Jesus Christ, Bob's mic is so fucking loud that he's breathing in and out, and I can hear it. And it's distracting me. Like
I know.
Is that better?
I know.
Oh my god!
And it's so sexy his heavy breathing that I'm actually jerking off right now.
Hostess got this new cupcake that's coming out. When you bite into it, the cream all flows in your mouth.
Yeah. You figure this would add as like a like a windbreaker for it or some shit. It just makes it even worse.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's great.
It amplifies it.
But literally, no, it sounds
great.
It sounds great.
All right.
Before it was just
who the fuck needs to change the battery in their fire alarm? Really?
That's my house.
That's your house? Go change your fucking battery, hippie. What the fuck?
Dude, you can't. I took it off the wall and it's still going off.
Rip it from the goddamn wall then.
And when I tore it from the ceiling, it set off the fucking alarm to the HOA. So now I'm waiting for the maintenance guy to come fix it on Monday.
Jesus.
So every 2 minutes I hear that fucking beep.
Bob, that's a goddamn Greek tragedy.
I guess I'll throw my 2 cents in on the whole storming thing, because I think everybody knows I'm the furthest leaning right person on this podcast. I agree with John. It was absolutely disgusting.
You're the furthest leaning right person on this podcast. Please elaborate.
He's the most right wing on this podcast.
Yeah, I would say I'm the most right wing on this podcast. Do you disagree, John?
Are you?
He would be considered the furthest right of the four of us. Knowing him the way I know him, and knowing you guys the way I know you, modern society as it stands would consider him far right, and he is not far right. He's just common sense.
Yeah, here, I'll prove to you guys how much of a bigot and racist I am. I voted for Trump.
We lost Paul's video. And I'm a little bit left of center, so let's talk, sir. Go on.
I totally agree with John that the events that happened on the 6th were absolutely disgusting and should have never happened. There's nothing wrong with standing outside the Capitol House and protesting and wanting your voice to be heard by your representatives. I have no issue with that. Once they broke the barricades and police lines and started committing violence, every person who committed violence should be arrested. Notice what I said. Every person who committed violence should be arrested. There was lots of people there who didn't
I
break
disagree.
in.
I disagree.
What do you mean?
Let him finish his point.
I disagree.
Let him finish.
No,
Let him finish his point
I'm
first.
totally open to
Go
a
for it.
conversation
All
on
right.
it.
I'm fucking moderating
Go on,
here.
finish your point.
Finish your point.
He's
then you go.
moderating.
I was just going to say that the people on the outside who made no effort to break in, and it's going to be quite the task on the government to figure everything out, but in the majority of the people who broke inside were all fucking Instagram models trying to get a new fucking profile pic, and not so much revolutionaries. But yeah, they should still all be arrested for what they did. Now, as far as Trump inciting it, I've looked at every single video of Trump from that day, and I see nothing that incited it. On Trump's side, I'm not defending Trump. Nowhere did he say go in there and storm the Capitol. Did he say break in? He said march peacefully and let your voices be heard. That's the way I feel about it. But I agree it's disgusting and it should have never happened. And if this bothers you to the point where you're getting angry and you want to impeach Trump over what happened on the 6th, I hope everybody who has that opinion had the same vim and vigor when all summer long American cities were getting burned and looted to the ground, and the other side of the aisle was cheering it on, bailing people out of jail, dropping charges. That's just the way I feel about it. I think those people should be locked up, and I think these people should be locked up. Looting and rioting is wrong no matter how you cut it.
Okay, and before John goes in on his rant, which I can see in his eyes, now, Trump did not say that. However, his attorney, Rudy Giuliani, did say, let's go into combat today. Would that not be inciting?
Well, then look into Rudy Giuliani for inciting.
Well,
I'm not. I haven't
agree.
seen the video. I haven't seen the video of Rudy Giuliani. But if he said those words that
man.
you said, if he said the word, I'll back you. I'll back you. I'm not against it.
He said, let's go into combat today. Yeah, I have a problem with that.
Regardless of political affiliation, if somebody does something good, whether they're right or left, I'll praise them. If somebody does something fucking stupid or says something stupid, right or left, I'll disown them and I'll say it's wrong. And I think there's too many people who are so tied to their side right now and can't look across the aisle and say, hey, that was right or that was wrong at the opposite party in fear of how they look on their side.
I'm going to say that's been the problem since, 92? I mean, when was the last time you saw Democrats and Republicans actually work together?
I was a little kid.
All I know is the last 10 years, it feels like every 4 years we're always on the brink of civil war, and every 4 years it gets worse and worse. I'm sorry. So John, what were you gonna hop in with?
I believe those people should be arrested. I believe those people should have been fucking shot and fired upon.
Are we talking about the
How
ones
about
who
that
broke
for
in?
a fucking twist?
Are we talking about the ones who broke in?
I'm talking about the people who were pushing fucking members of law enforcement to the ground, trampling on them as they
Spraying them
stormed
with
the
mace.
Capitol building.
No disagreement with you, John.
I want to know. I want to. Out of that whole situation, I want to know who gave the order. Because you know there was an order. Under no circumstances do you open fire. One person got shot and all of that. Go back through the history of our government and all the fucked up events. You want to talk about Kent State? You want to talk about the Branch Davidian in Waco, Texas? You want to talk about the ambush at Ruby Ridge? Families, women, children massacred by arms of our government. However, a bunch of fucking white people stormed the Capitol building where our Congress is in fucking session and takes a fucking bullet and loses their life. That to me is sketchy as fuck. I want to know.
I really want to.
I want to know why.
Flip it really quick.
Hold on.
Flip
Time
it really
out.
quick.
I have something I really want to discuss with John based off what he just said. So, I don't understand your point on the race side because every single example you used, Kent State, Waco, Ruby Ridge, all those scenarios were white people. You did not name one scenario where people of color were massacred in heavy numbers by law enforcement. Where I'd say the difference, though,
we're
is
not okay. We're
where
okay.
I'd say the difference is when in our nation's history has law enforcement been under the microscope so hard for deadly use of force than they are now. And I want to say I'm not counting your argument. I agree with you. The people who broke those lines should have been shot on spot.
That's a good point, but let me ask you a question though, Paul. Let's say 100 black people try to storm the nation's capital.
We don't have to ponder
If they
on this.
weren't white, what do
we
you
don't
think
have
would
to.
have happened?
We don't have to ponder
March
on this. The Black Panthers did the exact same thing that you saw on December 6th in 1968. And hundreds and hundreds of Black Panthers broke into Congress with firearms. And I'm not lying. You can look this up. Not one person was shot during that instance. And I could be wrong on the year, but it was in the 60s. It could have been 64. So that argument, that these race arguments are defunct because it already happened. We have that scenario where nothing but black people stormed and broke into the Capitol in the 60s. So are you telling me we were less racist in the 60s than we are now?
Okay. I'm going to redact the whole race issue. I'd like to go back in time and say a bunch of white people are the Capitol and just say people. This is not a race color thing in my mind. That's not my fucking point.
Okay.
My point is a large group of people stormed the Capitol building and we had armed members of law enforcement standing there being trampled, being pushed to the ground.
One
and
cop
only
beaten
one of
to
them
death with an
opened
American
fire.
flag. One
Right.
police officer beat to death with an American flag.
There's something shady about it. Hey guys, I really have to pee. Can we call a timeout for 5
Sure.
seconds? Paul, let you
Yeah, and John, I don't disagree with you.
collect your head really quick.
And John, I don't disagree with you. I do think they should have been shot on sight. I'm totally in agreement with you.
All right. Can you just hold that thought for 1 minute? Hold that thought for 1 minute.
John, wait. John, wait. Really important, John.
What?
Wait.
Yeah.
I love you, man.
Just go to the bathroom, John.
I fucking hate you so much. I fucking hate you so much. God, I hate you.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm not going to justify anything that happened on the 6th. I'm totally in agreement that
No, it was fucking
Yeah.
horrible. To me, it's just take Trump away from it, take all of it away from it. It's just a stain on the United States.
God.
Period.
Agreed.
Oh, that was better than the last sex that I had.
Everyone knew this march was happening. So if you go back and you look at the amount of police officers stationed for this march and this rally, and then look at it compared to the same spot at the Capitol building for the Black Lives Matter march. Look at the arms they're carrying. Look at what they're wearing compared to what the Capitol Police were wearing on the 6th.
I completely
They were
agree
set
with
up.
you.
They were militarized for the Black Lives Matter march.
Yeah.
Why were they not militarized for this? I have a problem with that.
I agree. It was a logistical failure on Washington, D.C.'s leadership for preparing for the event. Now, the question I pose to you, who's responsible for that? Because the direct line of succession for the Capitol Police is the commissioner and the mayor. But the police commissioner resigned. The police commissioner resigned.
Yeah, that day.
Yes, he did. But let me ask you this: why was the National Guard not there and set up already for this?
I agree.
That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
They were at the other place, but they weren't at this one.
President Trump himself made that little fucking video and released it where he was like, "I quickly dispatched the National Guard," which he fucking didn't.
Well,
That's just a lie. That's just a flat out goddamn lie.
Here's a common misconception when it comes to the National Guard. The president.
Par for the course, man. Listen, politics aside, left versus right aside, I'm a pretty liberal Democrat, but I'm like left of center. I've switched parties before. I've voted for Republicans in primaries. I'm not that far left. But here's the bottom line, and this is stolen from a fucking meme. This is not my original thought, so don't give me fucking praise for this or anything. But here's the thing. If you cannot listen to Donald Trump speak and see the actions that he takes, and if you don't realize that Donald Trump is a fucking con man, then guess what? You are the fucking mark. Plain and simple, black and white, there is no gray area. Peace out. G's up, hose down, while you motherfuckers bounce to this.
Rolling in the streets, smoking endo, sipping on gin and juice.
I'm not gonna lie.
Laid
I
back.
never really liked gin. Not a big gin fan.
I don't
Hey,
either.
gin, it's the one. It's the one out. It's literally the one alcohol I will not drink.
Tastes like pine.
I hate it so much.
I hate Sambuca.
Zambuca, is that that shit?
Ooh,
that
really?
tastes
I
like
love
black licorice?
Sambuca.
Yes, that black licorice shit.
Yeah.
I
Fuck
hate it.
that and
I
fuck
hate it.
Ouzo.
Oh man.
Fuck Zambuca and
Oh,
fuck
dude.
Ouzo.
Oh, dude. Either one of those on a fucking cold night. Oh, so good.
I know John drank some Hypnotic back in the day.
Do you remember
And Alizé.
John Lewis, when he lived with me, used to drink that caffeinated, alcoholic caffeinated
Four Loko?
He used to suck those things down every night after work, man.
I never drank Four Loko. The closest thing I drank to Four Loko, you were there actually, John. It was like you would come home for your birthday, or Jess was down or something, and I was doing something called cherry bombs, where they take a glass of vodka and then pour a whole Red Bull in and you just down it. Yeah,
That's the only time I ever drank with you. Because when I first started hanging out with you, you didn't drink. I moved to Chicago, came back for my birthday, and that was that night at Indigo. Was the only time I've ever drank with you. Because then when I moved back down now, you don't drink anymore now.
Yeah, I went through I used to be an alcoholic, and I stopped drinking, and then I got single, and then I may or may not have drank a lot and slept with random people. But in order to have the nerve to do that, I had to drink myself retarded.
Absolutely.
Leave that word. I'm fine with that.
Can we talk about that? Why is that a bad word? It's one of my favorite words in my vocabulary.
I personally am not a fan of the word. I'm not a fan of a lot of words though. Like micropenis. I'm not a fan of that. I mean, it hits me in the gut, So
I'm not a fan of mine either, but go on.
Correct me if I'm
what?
wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but micropenis wouldn't hit you in the gut, technically.
Have you seen how big my gut
No,
is?
it doesn't.
If anything, it would retract backward like a turtle.
I'll tell you what. When I was doing 145 on the freeway, I started to turtle.
I'm just gonna put this away.
Hey,
Paul,
Doug,
are you okay? You got very quiet, man. Did I touch a nerve or something, man?
No,
Are you all right?
You didn't touch a
Barked at
nerve.
him like Lola.
No, you didn't touch a nerve at all. It's just that, like, I feel that to have a civilized conversation, and I'm not, please bear in mind, I'm not saying you're not being civil. It's just, I feel like we can't have a civilized conversation because everything's based on emotion. And I don't want to counter back, and I don't want to upset you. With politics, with the talk of
I
politics.
tell you what, man. Someday this upcoming week, I think me and you should hop on here and record an episode. Me and you, mano a mano. We'll talk some politics next week.
I'd be
Just
down.
the two of us. And
I
I promise I will try to be more calm. I haven't slept in 2 days, Paul. I'm in a lot of fucking pain, dude. I'm sorry. I don't mean to.
And that's
I
just the thing.
don't mean to.
Yeah.
That's it.
And I know that, John. I could tell that, and I don't want to say anything to agitate you anymore. That on that subject. I'm willing to talk.
Doug, I'm listening to you, Doug. Talk to me.
Hey,
Talk
hey,
to
you
me.
know what, Paul? Hey, you know what, Paul?
why bother?
Paul, you know what? You're good fucking people, man. I appreciate it.
Same.
Doug,
Go on.
right now, my hand is massaging your thigh. Just feel it. Take it in.
It's not though. It's not. I'm
But
not
it
gonna lie to
is.
myself. I'm not gonna lie to myself, man.
But to the terms on retarded, I think like the first time I remember retarded coming into light of being bad was the Tom Segura special. That's like the first time I remember where it was like you can't say that.
Can't say retarded anymore.
And I
Hi, Sam. How was your weekend, Sam?
and
See, the first time I remember it getting a lot of shit was right after Tropic Thunder. When he's like, you can't go full retard.
Never go for it.
see, I remember
Yeah.
that getting brought up after the Tom Segura thing. Like
Oh,
Tom Segura
man.
went wild, and then everybody brought that back to light.
Yeah, I
Gump.
just,
Who's
I
best
just
at
remember.
not
I
running?
just remember the Tropic Thunder shit they got. Everyone thought they were gonna get all the shit for blackface, but they got more for that.
Oh, how times have changed.
Yep.
Can you imagine if the? I'm not even gonna. I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm done. I'm not gonna say. I like being not saying anything. I'm good.
I love how Doug starts thought, and you're like really into it, and you want to hear it, and then like halfway through, he's like, "I'm done. That's it. No more."
No, because
Oh,
because my sense of humor works on a level where, like, to me, nothing is off limits. For if the intent is to laugh, even
That's
if
how
you're
it should be.
And but I live in reality, and I know that some people who watch this or listen to this, I still love and respect to the point where I don't want to offend or horrify them with what's in my fucking head.
And I
Dude,
come from the mindset
anyone
where
that knows
That's a
us,
joke.
anyone that knows any of us and has talked to us for any extended periods of time, unfortunately knows what's in our heads. So
Yeah, but I'm
You
trying
know.
to be better than I used to be.
see, but
yeah, nobody's
If my
buying
friends, if my friends were smarter, and if any of my friends listen to this podcast, they should be taking bets on how many episodes in before I drop an N-bomb or something. Like that's what I'd be doing if I were.
We wouldn't be able to get it on
But,
YouTube.
I mean,
We'd have to take the word out, man. We'd have to join the
Well, you could
network.
bleep it, but we would document it. I mean, it's going to happen.
yeah,
Paul, we
But-
And
we should set up a paywall for episodes, Paul.
well, here's the thing.
Oh, man.
From an editing point of view, like the only thing you really can't say on YouTube is like Hitler. Like you can't say Hitler. If you say Hitler, your video will be removed. Everything else is not removable.
Or Donald Trump.
Oh no, you won't get removed for saying Donald Trump as long as you're talking shit about him. If you're praising him, you'll get
I was
removed.
making it. I know. I was making it.
But I'm a very libertarian in my approach to everything, to where words shouldn't fucking matter. Like, if you're offended by words, I think you need to evaluate your life, not everybody around you.
Can we talk about how right now Doug looks so much like the lead singer of Bare Naked Ladies?
Fuck you.
Can you sing a little bit of 1 week for us?
It's been 1 week to look at me.
Held
They
my
have
dick
another-
to the side and said I'm
Chicken to
sorry.
China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick, get your brain stuck ticking. Watch next files when the lights on. With done on liaisons. I have a smoky meds in this one. Like Harrison Ford, I'm getting frantic. All right, that's it. I love that
Like-
song. That's
like
a good
Harrison-
fucking song. If
like
you don't like,
Har-
if you don't like that song, fuck you. You're a liar.
John, let me goddamn get a fucking word in. Like Harrison Ford, I'm getting frantic. Like, oh motherfucker! Like what's
Sting.
like doing chantix. Like
Ray
Liotta.
Liotta.
Yeah, like Harrison Ford, I'm getting frantic. Like Ray Liotta, I'm doing chantix. Go fuck yourselves, all of you. I hate this podcast.
Chant things. I see what you did there. That's funny.
I love that Doug. I love that Doug just had a huge blow up on John. Like, let me speak.
So
Let me
you are
speak, John.
so cute.
Shut up, John.
You're so cute when you're mad.
And then he starts talking, and then he does the
entire
halfway
fucking
split.
episode, I've started to try and make a point, and then someone cuts me off, and I'll go back to the point, and then somebody else cuts me off. Fuck all of you, man.
What were you saying, Doug?
Nothing. It's gone now, dude.
I don't mean to cut you off, but I didn't hear what you were
What
saying.
the?
No, I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I'm just, I'm good. We're good.
So there I was, fucking this girl doggy style. And she leans back.
I
at
don't
me and
believe
she
you.
goes,
I don't believe
"Are
you in
you-"
the slightest.
She goes, "Are you a pedophile?" And I go, "That's an awfully big word for a 12-year-old."
So,
Yeah.
Doug.
Yeah, you guys are all laughing. I see you.
So Doug. Thoughts on
Cock.
censorship in general, but more specifically Twitter censorship?
Well, that's not.
What
I
the
don't
fuck
think-
is Twitter?
Yeah,
I agree.
I mean, Twitter for me, it's not so much even Twitter. It's just the idea of any censorship. I've had a lot of people come at me using examples of like, well, you know, it'll eliminate being able to rally like Nazis and stuff like that. It's like, first, I'm not going to deny that there are Nazis in the world right now, or people who still believe in that shit. But you can't. I don't know. I'm not even going to get into like what I honestly think, because I'd have to really actually think about it. But I do think that whether or not you like Trump, or whether or not you hate Trump, the step that YouTube made, that Twitter made, that all the platforms that banned him made, is a slippery fucking slope. I mean, yeah, you're doing it for one reason today, but that reason could come back later on to bite you in the ass to go after you. We saw it happen with people in the Me Too movement, people who actually, like Aziz Ansari is a good example. As much as I don't, I'm maybe not the biggest fan of him. Well, a lot of these guys were like virtue signalers, and then as it suited them, until it came back to bite them on the ass. And I think the same can be said for limiting anybody's speech. I mean, we're supposed to be the country that is the freedom that we have freedom of speech. That's why we love it so much. You look at people like who live in Saudi. Jesus, this is why I don't like talking, because I don't have control of my thoughts. But to go inside what we were talking about with the banning, I watched a documentary when the pandemic started on Showtime called Kingdom of Silence. And another documentary just came out about the same subject, but it was made by the guy who made the Netflix documentary Icarus, about the Russian doping scandal. And this one is called
He was on Joe Rogan recently.
And it's The Dissident, and it's about the assassination of Jamal Khashoggi. And that particular story really infected me over the summer. And I'd forgotten about it as the year just got worse and worse. And then I watched this Dissident list past week, around the same time that the Twitter, that the whole thing happened, the Capitol, the banning, everything. And as horrible, look, I want to make it very clear. I do not like Trump. I think Trump needs to be tried for many fucking crimes. There's a good fucking list of them. That said, I don't think banning him is the right move, because for me, honestly, I think it's going to solidify his base even more. These are people who they believe what they believe. They're going to believe it. There's no changing their mind, period. You let the genie out of the bottle when we elected Trump. But at the same time, we're complaining about somebody's freedom of speech or limiting people. I'm complaining about it, but I look at the Dissident, I look at Kingdom of Silence, and I think to myself, like, these are people, you speak up in this country for having an opinion like we're doing right now, and the prince of the fucking monarchy there could have you murdered. I'm sorry, I don't make sense when I try to make.
I think you make sense.
It all made pretty fucking clear sense. It was pretty concise.
You're making sense. You're making sense to me. May I have the floor for 1 minute, please?
Please, I'm done. I
have the floor. Thank you, Doug. Appreciate you and this topic. What's our First Amendment in the Constitution?
Freedom of speech, assembly, religion.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Is Twitter or Facebook run by the U.S. government, Congress, or any branch of our government or military?
Correct.
Private companies.
Private companies.
There you go. Private companies, where when you join, you create a profile, and when you join this company,
you agree to their terms
social
of
networking
service.
platform. You absolutely, Bob. So all these companies are doing are enforcing their fucking protocol, their fucking rules against Donald Trump. And you know what? I absolutely applaud Facebook and Twitter for not bowing down and being like, oh, well, he's the president.
Here's my
Whatever the
problem with
fuck
that.
he wants. It's like,
Here's my problem with
we
that.
all
I'm
have to
sorry.
play by the
Go
rules,
ahead. Go
so
ahead.
he
I'm
has to
sorry
play
to
by the
interrupt.
rules too.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but
Go for
fuck,
it. Go
man.
for it. Go.
My issue with that. Fuck, I already lost it. Jesus Christ, are you kidding me? No, here's my issue with it. For the last 4 years, they watched this elevate. They could have done this at any time. It's fucked up to wait until the very last fucking minute to do this shit. That's my fucking problem with it, man.
And John,
Okay,
can I
I'm
jump?
done now.
Can I jump in because I truly have a well thought out argument because I'm very libertarian and I'm very free market.
Sure.
So I have a really good opinion on this. I'm in total 100% agreement with you that if Twitter's a private company,
Love to hear it.
and Facebook is a private
Love to
company,
hear it.
and they should be able to do whatever they want because the American way is free market capitalism, which means if you don't like a company or what they're doing, you have the right to move on and go to a different company. Are we in agreement? That's how free market capitalism works.
Right.
Competition squares out the market. I have no
right, but I will put right, but I will contradict myself and play devil's advocate for a second. What other social media platforms are there
Parlor.
that reaches the same amount of people that Facebook and Twitter do?
And Bob, you just went where I was going to go. So,
Facebook and Twitter have a fucking monopoly. Have a monopoly on it.
Hold on, John.
When you decide,
I just want to finish my thought on this.
I'm not.
Hold on, please let me finish my thought, because John's right, and Bob was. I think Bob knows where I'm going with my argument, because I have no problem with Twitter banning anybody they want to, because they are a private company and they should be able to do it. The way America works is, if you think that Twitter's wrong and you don't like Twitter, you go and build your own fucking Twitter, your own version of Twitter to appease your place. Here's the problem: Parler did that. They did that. They built a new Twitter, and it was hosted on Amazon servers, just like Facebook and Twitter are hosted on Amazon servers. So now we get Donald Trump banned from Twitter. He's going to jump to Parler. Amazon then comes out after everybody else bans Trump and says, well, we're taking Parler off of our server base because they violated, well, we don't have a violation, but we're removing them. Now, here's the problem. You now have antitrust laws that come into play with that. Because they're killing competition. They are working together to kill competition.
Absolutely.
Now I'm also
before we go any further, let me ask you guys a question, because we are being very inaccurate right now. Facebook is not a private company. Facebook went public.
Traded. So is Twitter.
So they both are publicly traded. Okay, so let's make that clear that we understand that these are not private companies, but publicly traded companies. Okay, because I had an argument with somebody, and that was their big thing, their big talking point, and their big fucking argument. My roommate Jeff, he was like, those companies are publicly traded, so they belong to the public. You can invest in them, and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like,
that's
but at the end of the day, you're investing in a company that still fucking sets guidelines, rules, and standards. If you violate that, you're
according to Amazon Web Services, what I read was they had 98 threats compiled on Parler, and that is why they took them down.
Compared to how many on Facebook?
98 threats meaning what?
Threats of violence against other
Elaborate.
people. That's all it said. Literally, we've came across 98 different posts threatening violence against people or peoples. Therefore, we've removed them from our servers because that breaks our terms of service.
But the contract they had was that they could remove them, but they had to give them a 30-day notice. They literally just cut their service off. Which I just want to say kudos to Gab, because I'm not on Gab. I'm not promoting Gab. Do not take this as an endorsement. I don't even know what the fuck
Gab is.
Gab is another version of Twitter.
I don't know what that is.
They spent the money up front and built their own server system, so they weren't hosted on Amazon, so nobody can shut them down.
Yeah.
All right. To me, Gab is what I gave your mother the other night. Fuck, man.
But
so here's the thing, man. You want to talk about social media. You want to talk about social media and you want to talk about Donald Trump. Oh my God, if only there was a fucking eccentric, narcissistic fucking billionaire who is getting kicked off social media platforms. Like, God, if he really wanted to get his word out to people, God, what could he do? What could this man do with his
Jesus
resources?
Christ,
Oh,
get to the fucking point, man.
on his own goddamn social media
gonna-
fucking platform.
He's gonna
He's
start
got
How
the
about-
money to
hold on,
fucking
hold
do
on,
it.
hold on,
Fuck
hold on.
Parlor.
How about this? Why doesn't he just address the American people from the fucking presidential podium?
Because he's not a convention.
Because you know what, Bob? Because you know what, Bob? Because he still has that right, and he wants to play the fucking victim.
It's all
Just
a
like
fucking joke.
the election was rigged. It is all a fucking joke. He's a fucking joke. It's a goddamn joke. He's a goddamn child. And you know what, man? If you're a Trump supporter listening to this, I don't hate you. I don't hate you at all. I'm very sad for you. Because you got taken for a ride by a fucking con man. And let me tell you something. At the end of the day, that con man does not give two shits about you.
Okay,
If you
so
came up
I
to
agree with
Donald Trump public in the streets, he would turn his fucking shoulder and fucking spit on you.
This is where I will
Are
fucking
you fucking
disagree.
serious?
This is where I will fucking disagree. We've all seen Home Alone 2. We know that fucking statement is a goddamn lie. Shut the fuck up. He helped Kevin find his fucking room.
God.
You stupid fucking wop.
I have to pee.
So now that John's gone,
Thank God.
like as far as Trump goes, I don't. And this is what goes back to what John's saying about the whole being taken thing. My wife referenced a study. So it's been proven scientifically. I don't remember if it was Yale or Harvard, but if people. Why does he look like Jack Black?
Because he always looks
Jack
like Jack
Gray.
Black.
Genetics.
Yale study, Bob. Come on, get on with it.
So anyway, it said that
God
if
damn it.
people have believed something long enough, I think it was 3 years. It's almost impossible for them to turn around and admit they were wrong. So
Like the
if you
Bible?
support, sure, whatever it is you believe in, and then realize, hey, I fucked up. It's hard for people to admit publicly they fucked up.
I'll
You
admit.
know,
Just call me out and I'll admit it.
but a lot of people won't, dude. They can't say, yeah, I was wrong.
And you're
I
right.
need
That's
to turn away from this
that's
and move
true.
in
that's
this
a
direction.
big problem. People can't call balls and
You
strikes these
cannot
days
grow as a
because
human
they're
being.
too afraid of offending the person on their side and getting ostracized from their team.
You cannot grow as a human
Bob.
being if you cannot acknowledge your own bullshit.
Agreed.
Bob, let me tell you a fun story what happened to me the other day, Bob, going on what you were just touching on. I have a very, very good customer in Cape Coral. I'm not going to say her name, but I've been doing work for this lady for years and years and years.
Somebody we know.
And every time I go to her house, she offers me like a nice craft beer. She's very well to do. The refrigerator that I'm working on retails for probably about $30,000. So I went there and installed a component. I went there and installed a component on her refrigerator. Charged her for it. Left. Went out with my life. And then 2 days later, I was back there, and she was like, "Yeah, it's doing the same thing." And I go, "Okay, that's fucking weird." So I resolved the issue, and she went, "So what was the problem?" And I looked at her dead in the eye, and I was like, "That was all me. I'm sorry, I made a mistake. I did not secure this component well enough, and that's why this happened again." I was like, I re-secured it. I triple checked it. I was like, "I'm very sorry." And she looked at me, and she was like, "I knew I liked you for a reason all these years." I was like, "What's that?" And she was like, "You made a mistake and admitted it. Most people would give me a line of bullshit, but you just admitted that you made a mistake and you just fixed it." Like, and that's something that's very rare in the world these days.
I agree.
And keep in mind, this woman is old enough to be my grandma.
Yeah, it is not something most people can do.
Yeah, and you'll
I don't
learn.
understand why.
And
I
what's
don't
great,
understand why.
what's crazy in my adult life, based on what John just said, and I totally agree, and I'm the same way. People who are that way succeed more in life. If you can just say, "Yeah, I fucked up. It was a mistake. It happened. Let's move on." Those are the people who succeed because those are the people who learn from their mistakes and don't repeat them.
Right. She
It's
even
true.
made a little funny comment. She was like, "You've been doing my work for years. You've never made a mistake." And my reply to her was like, hey, I'm human. We all have bad days. We all miss stuff. We all do stuff that we can regret, but it happens. But put your big boy pants on and be like, if you fucked up, just be like, yo, I fucked up. Move on, regardless of the consequences. Just fucking man up, admit it, and do it. Move on with your goddamn life.
And there have been times where, like, in a work setting where you have like a group working environment, like, somebody makes a mistake and they try to hide it, and then that consumes the conversation of work, where productivity stops and it turns into the, well, who did this? Who made this mistake? There have been times in my working career where, like, I didn't make the mistake, but we've become so lack of production on our team where I'm like, hey guys, it was me. I'm the one who did it. I fucked up. Now let's move on. We fix it and we fucking learn from it and move on, just to get it out of the fucking way.
I've done that. I've done that.
Paul, do things really get that out of hand at the sperm clinic that you work at?
I mean, you got to think it's a job that's low cash and we run by hand, so every little bit counts.
I thought you were the magazine boy. Your job's to hand out the magazine to the guys.
Yeah, but everybody has preferences,
Okay.
and
And
sometimes
to,
you don't get the customer's preference.
fluff them up a little bit.
Going back to our fleshlight conversation.
Yeah, because that's real
Jesus
relevant.
fucking Christ. Why do we continue to fucking bring this up? I own one. Get over it. Fucking move on. Seriously, I'm gonna record throwing it away. I've used it twice.
That wasn't where I was going with this.
Would
My
you
point
sell it to
was, yes,
you
he
sell it
would.
to
I feel like this is a person. You know what? I feel like Donald Trump right now on Twitter and fucking Facebook because you keep bringing this up. And you know what? It's fucking with my First Amendment right, and I'm not happy about it.
Well, get in your fucking safe space and deal with it.
I'm going to edit the clip
have
of the
any
end
of
of.
you
Hold on.
Have any of you ever been to a sperm bank? Have any of you
Why
ever
are
been to
you
a sperm
being
bank?
mean?
Yes, in college. I'm going to edit the ending of I'm going to edit the ending of Lord of the Rings with John's face on Frodo and him throwing the ring into the volcano, and I'm just going to change it into a fleshlight where Bob is just throwing the fleshlight into the volcano.
Dude, you need to Photoshop any of that. I'll just do it.
You're gonna go to Mountain Doom?
Sam.
Holy fucking shit!
I'm so cold, Sam. Right here.
Next week, John's like, do you fuckers know how much a plane ticket to Middle Earth is? Shit ain't cheap.
You just gotta walk for a really long time, dude.
All right, stop. Everyone take 5 and change.
Do whatever you want. I don't care.
We don't have
I'm
an
taking
hour.
my ball and I'm going home. Best trilogy, go.
Like, are you going to give us choices, or can we pick the most random, obscure thing we want?
Oh my god, I literally just spit on my thumb when this motherfucker comes wearing his robe. What the fuck are you doing?
Side note, John, did you get a haircut?
Dude, you look like the evil Elvis, bro. What the fuck?
All right, well, welcome to January 42nd to Brothers from fucking Druthers podcast. I'm your host, John Capozzo. I spit hot fire.
Got that St. Francis hoodie in Ybor City at the masquerade.
I did not.
Oh,
Did not, sir. I bought this St. Francis hoodie like last year, but
whatever.
oh
my god.
Good memory, though. Good memory, though, brother. Good memory, though, brother.
I'm not really a fan of him since he got married and had a kid. Whatever. He's like
Oh,
Will.
fuck you.
He's like the Will Smith of the indie hip hop world now.
Oh, fuck you.
I'm kidding.
Best
Right.
Will Smith song.
Guys,
Go.
go change your goddamn. Guys,
No.
change your goddamn shirt so you can record the second episode. Go.
Nightmare on My Street.
I literally have no shirts, dude. I
Alright.
just moved.
That
Whoa!
is correct.
Whoa!
Then take it off.